Welcome, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Jake Thomas. I'm with the BioBuzz team that's going to be powering the event, and I'm really excited. We've been working with this team, getting this event set up. They're an incredibly fun group, and so we're so proud to introduce GSK. This is a science-led global healthcare organization. They have a special purpose to improve the quality of human life by helping people do more, feel better, and live longer. They do that by developing, discovering, and manufacturing innovative medicines, vaccines, and consumer healthcare products. But specifically today, we're going to be talking with the Rockville site. So, this is a site that manufactures those drug substances for all kinds of innovative biopharmaceutical medicines for clinical and commercial use. Right now, they have about 550 highly skilled employees, supporting new product introductions and supply by manufacturing for GSK products. So before we get started, if you're not familiar with BioBuzz, our mission is to better connect the biotech community with organizations in biotech and life sciences for the region. So check us out at biobuzz.io. If you're interested in learning more, we'll have news, jobs, events, anything you need to stay up to date with what's going on. Before we get started again, a couple housekeeping tips. At the bottom of your screen, you'll notice the chat function. So if you want to interact with folks during this discussion, please feel free to do so in the chat section. You'll also notice the Q&A. So that's going to be the questions that we're going to have a Q&A section towards the end of the event today. And we'll go through and get those answered by the panelists if you want to go ahead and do that in there. We'll also have members of their team just answering one-offs, via text if you want to do that as well. One thing to be aware of, we are going to have polls that pop up periodically throughout the event today. Please take those. We really, really appreciate the feedback, and it goes a long way to helping us understand the audience that we had here today. And then the last little bit here, we have a survey after the event. If you could take that, tell us all the feedback you have so we can improve going forward with future events. We'd really appreciate that. So that's all the house cleaning stuff. Now we're on to the exciting part. I'd like to introduce you to Rizwan Khohar. He is the production director for GSK. A little bit about Rizwan. He has been with GSK for 22 years, working with the organization. And this is his fourth site with GSK and coming to the Rockville office. So you're going to get a very fresh perspective, as to what's going on all across the company. And so I'm so proud to introduce Rizwan. Please go ahead and take it away.
Thank you so much, Jake. Thank you so much. Actually, you bring me to my 20 years old journey. I still remember I was in Andretti University, and GSK group came to share about their management training program. And they were talking about some big things about GSK. And I was just thinking that what role can I play? And I joined 22 years ago in GSK Pakistan site. It was West Wharf site, actually, using the dermatology products and making the dermatology and sterile products. Then after 68 site, then Bronia, Australia site, and now Rockville, US site. But if you tell me, Rizwan, how this time passed, I don't know. It seems like 2 months for me. But when I see the mirror, actually, then I knew that, no, Rizwan, you have passed a long time, right? So I know that I'm just trying to tell you about my own story so that I can make a true connection. I know that there are many people who want to join GSK. One thing I can tell you that when you come in GSK, you will be the part of GSK, like a family. We are working and operated like a family here. Whatever site it is, either it is in Pakistan or in UK or it is in Australia or in USA, we all are working like a family. And we are working towards one motto, one purpose. And that purpose is all about our patient, how we can help our patient by doing our best, by making sure that we are keeping safety at the top, keeping quality at the top. We can focus on the services. We can focus on the cost as well, so that we can give the right medicine to our patients at the right quality with the right price as well. This is something our motto is, right? And this is what we are doing right now here. Just a bit of the sharing about GSK. GSK is a big organization. We have vaccines business, pharmaceutical business. We have biopharmaceutical. We have consumer, right? But we are the part of the pharma supply chain group. And in the pharma supply chain, we are the part of BioPharms and sterile manufacturing group. BioPharms and sterile manufacturing group has multiple sites. Maybe one is in Rockville, another one is in Upper Meridian, USA, another one is Parma, Italy, and fourth one is in UK, Bernard Castle. We are the part of the Rockville team. We are making antibodies here. Maybe you heard that the name of the product called Benlysta. This is our top product of the pharma supply chain. That's what we are doing right now at Rockville BioPharm. I'm looking forward to hear many questions from you guys. I'm just telling you that my journey from management training officer to maintenance engineer, project engineer, maintenance manager, site director, senior production director, I don't know, it's just like a blink of eye. GSK is some company which is just focusing on the development of the people, right? And you can get what you really want to get from here. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much. And I know that I have a very amazing uh, panelist here. His name is Sean, and he can give you a much about what Rockville is actually doing. So Sean, are you here?
Thank you, Rizwan, for the introduction. Hi, everybody. My name is Sean Tieu. I've been with GlaxoSmith for nearly 14 years and in the industry for about 22 years myself. So excited. This is what we do at Rockville, the medicines that we do. Three areas for therapeutic area, especially pharma, which is autoimmune that Rizwan mentioned, where Benlysta, that's what we make Benlysta for. Two different indications for Benlysta. SLE and lupus nephritis, and this was first approved in 2011. And our other therapeutic area is especially pharma on respiratory, and this is our Nucala as our brand name, is for severe eosinophilic asthma, so approved in 2015. Our third area is on oncology. This is our Blenrep. This is for relapse or refractory multiple myeloma. So me having a privilege in Rockville, I touch all three different products here, and very proud and honored to be able to deliver this to our patient, the best that we can deliver that. So quick update on Rockville. So in Rockville, there's two sites here. The vaccine site, that's what everybody sees, that's the Glass Palace and BioPharm site, which is off our Bellwood Campus Drive. So the BioPharm site, our facility, we have three value stream here, a 20K value stream and a 10K value stream, which we recently spent over $178 million constructing this first of class, best of class facility. And we have our 16-liter scale bioreactor system as well. So GSK here, this was originally the HES site that was founded in 1992. And was acquired by GSK in 2012. So across all labs, we like Rizwan expressed, we have roughly about 550 employees on site. Great talents that we have here, and continue to recruit for additional talents as we're continuing to grow, as our demands are continuing to grow. So in each value stream facility, production, there's quality system, there's QA, there's engineering, and all the other labs as well. So that's a quick update on what we do at Rockville and continue to grow and do so. And next up, I have the privilege to introduce Kevin Kalinski. He's one of our finest talent on site here.
Well, thank you, Sean. I appreciate the introduction. Let me first begin by saying thank you to everyone joining. It's very exciting to see the turnout. And I'm really honored, myself and on behalf of my GSK colleagues, to have the opportunity to speak with everyone today. So both Rizwan and Sean sort of gave you a high-level overview of where Rockville BioPharm sits in the global healthcare organization of GSK. It's a huge company, as they mentioned, and introduced a lot of the assets or products that we are making out of the site. I understand and recognize that we have a pretty wide spectrum audience that's joining us today. So I'll apologize in advance if some folks that are on already kind of know what production is. But for those of you that aren't familiar with the industrial side of science and medicine and medicine discovery, production can be different things at different companies. It can mean different things wherever you are in the drug manufacturing process. So at Rockville, we are late phase 3, large scale production. or commercial scale production. Most of our products are already licensed. They're being prescribed, administered to patients. So we're at the far right of that drug manufacturing or drug production pipeline. So what is production? In my definition, the best way I can describe it for those that may not be as familiar, especially the large commercial scale side of things, is it's a combination of multiple disciplines, right? We are grounded in the fundamentals of cell biology and protein chemistry and protein purification methodologies, right? That is our base. That's the foundation in which we produce the medicine. But we are in a large scale manufacturing facility. So there is a large mechanical and utility component to the job. I think Sean mentioned the scales. We range from, production scale of 1,600 liters all the way up to 20,000 liters of mammalian cell culture. So these are huge stainless steel vessels that are multiple stories tall. So there's utilities, air systems, gas systems, steam systems, chemical distribution systems that have pipes and connections and hoses and things like that run to these different types of process equipment. So in addition to the fundamental science, there's this mechanical and utility piece. Being a licensed organization, a licensed facility for products that are being administered, they're being injected into patients, the medicines that we're making here. There's a huge regulatory and compliance component. I think both Rizwan and Sean mentioned the quality aspect, bringing the patient the safest product every time, and that's the case. I mean, we have our own policies and procedures, both internal to GSK, but also to the regulatory bodies such as FDA, the EMA, and other bodies, regulatory bodies across the globe. So this quality and regulatory component is another discipline that is part of the machine that is production of biologics. And lastly, I think continuous improvement and sort of business drivers, business objectives is that discipline that it's important to highlight as well. I think Rizwan, you mentioned always looking to improve, whether it is in not just process or product, but safety, right? Keeping each other safe, keeping the facility safe, keeping the patient safe, obviously. The quality aspect, looking to always continuously improve from a right first time. So we would minimize defects, we minimize waste. That helps us drive the price of those drug products down so that we can get it out to more people at an affordable cost. So there's a major continuous improvement and business aspect to this role or these roles at Rockville BioPharm that are really aligned from corporate down to the site, down to your functional area, and to you as an individual. So what is production? It's kind of a simple and a difficult answer. At the same time, it's a combination of all those: the science, the mechanical utility, the regulatory quality compliance piece, and just business and continuous improvement. If you put all that into a melting pot, that's what production is to me. Okay, so that being said, one of the questions I get, or we all get a lot, is what are you looking for in a candidate? What's the ideal GSK employee? And as simple as that sounds, that can also be a complex answer, because there is no perfect answer. So what I will say is everyone is different. Everyone brings different strengths, qualities, perspectives, and that is the crux of what we are, what the GSK culture is. It's that diversity. It's the different opinions. It's bouncing ideas off each other. It's getting and sharing perspectives and trusting in each other. So we're not looking for any one mold, right? We want it all. Not to be too broad. But I will leave you with this. What are we looking for? We're looking for employees that understand, either through their own, research or through talking to us in events like this, what our mission is at GSK and specifically Rockville BioPharm. What are our core values, and are your values aligned with what we are trying to do as a company for the patients, right? And if you can answer yes to that, then it's a pretty good chance you're the ideal person for GSK. Clearly, you want to make a difference. We want you to want to make a difference. We have a responsibility to the patients, and that's really what we hang our hat on every day. Work can be tough. It can be rewarding. It can be, fun. It can be challenging. It can be stressful. It can be all these things at any given point. But the one thing we want to try to do is to come in every day and remind ourselves, what are we doing this for? It's for the patients. It's the patients that are trusting us, trusting you to make the right decisions, to do the right thing, and to remember that we're in it for a bigger purpose and to help people have a better quality of life. So we want people to demonstrate courage, being able to speak up, being able to challenge the status quo or make suggestions, not be afraid to share a thought or an opinion. We want you to have motivation and drive to want to develop yourself and your colleagues. Certainly we want accountability, right? We want you to feel that sense of responsibility to the patient, and hold yourself accountable and your teammates accountable. And that's how we drive that continuous improvement. And lastly, as Rizwan and Sean said, we are a family. We work very closely together, doing very challenging and complex operations. We have to communicate. We have to respect each other. We have to work together, and share ideas and perspectives. So working as a team, teamwork. So some of those may be a little cliche or common, but certainly all are very, very meaningful. So that being said, I realize I failed to sort of introduce myself. Just to let you know, I've been with GSK since 2009, so about 12 years, all within the production umbrella, wearing a couple different hats. But I started in biopharm manufacturing in 2000, so I have 21 years of doing this, starting in research and development up through commercial manufacturing. I love everything about the people I work with, the people on the panel, and those that couldn't join, the company, what they provide to the patients and to us as individuals, trying to grow our careers, professions, and just ourselves. Okay, so thank you all again for joining. Let me introduce now a colleague of mine, Lauren Andretti, one of the associate directors in production.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Kevin. So I have been with GSK now for 6 years. I've mostly been in large-scale manufacturing, more specifically downstream. I had a very unique experience 2 years ago. I did a program called Pulse, where I was able to travel to West Africa for about 6 months. Pulse is GSK's social responsibility program. It's their way to give back to nonprofits and charitable organizations. So I took my experience that I have here at GSK in manufacturing and operations, and I was able to help a local hospital in West Africa, more specifically Liberia. And I did the logistics for them as far as getting their medical supplies, their equipment, their medicines for their patients. And that for me was a life-changing experience. I am not familiar with too many other companies having programs similar to that, but that's one of the many reasons why I've chosen to stay at GSK and to explore the opportunities leadership-wise to move up. I am what we call a frontline leader. So I started as a supervisor. I'm currently an associate director in a secondment role. But when I took that experience to travel to Liberia, my lead at that time backfilled my role temporarily. So to see him evolve as a leader and to know that I directly contributed to that evolution was very rewarding and satisfying to me as his supervisor at that time. And then once I returned, we were able to turn his secondment into a permanent role and make him a supervisor. And it had a cascading effect where everyone on the team slowly moved up. So my senior at that time also became the lead, and the lead became the supervisor. And here I am now trying to work on my own promotion. So I think GSK has been able to afford me a lot of opportunities in my career as far as growth development. I'm very thankful for that. And as everyone has mentioned so far, between Rizwan, Sean, and Kevin, I think what keeps me here and makes me excited to come to work every day is the team that I work with. I truly enjoy everyone on my team. I like that we have a professional relationship, but we also learn each other outside of work and understand what our personal needs are and where our families are and whatever our hobbies are outside of work. And I think that makes it easier to collaborate and work together. So I will hand it over to KJ, but thank you for your time this afternoon. And I hope that you consider some of the many positions we currently have open at GSK.
Thank you, Lauren. Hello, everyone. I'm Kyong Jung. You can call me KJ. I'm the production lead for the EBR project on a secondment role at the moment. And I am in the team to drive digital transformation for the production team, making paper-based process into more automated electronic process. And I kind of want to step back to everything that Kevin, Sean, and Rizwan and Lauren said, and can't definitely repeat everything they said, but something that I started with in GSK is I came in not knowing what I wanted to do, really didn't know what biopharmaceutical was. It was my first job out of college. And when they first thrown that at me, I was like, okay, what does that mean at all? Like, I've never done anything like this before, my first interview. And, I really went in not knowing what to expect, what I wanted to get out of GSK. And I think some of you, if you are, recent college graduate, or maybe if you had the same experience, like you may not know what you wanted, and you may not really know what we're doing here at GSK, even after, all the great explanation that Kevin gave, right? But I think that's why GSK is so perfect for those who are interested in making our patient feel better, do more, and live longer, and really learn new skills that you have never seen before. And so I joined GSK in 2016, so only been 5 years. And again, when I first joined, I had no idea where I was going. I was told production. First thing I thought was, okay, so we manufacture something here. At least I know that much. And, as soon as I started, there was so many new things and things that excited me, like the quality systems that we have here, or awesome equipments that we have here. It feel futuristic for me. And, I started trying my best to learn everything that I could to be successful here at GSK. And, as I developed myself further and became comfortable with my day-to-day job, I started to want to learn even more, because I wanted to keep developing my skills here at GSK, because I really loved what I was doing. And when I first started that, I was like, it might be really hard. Like, I don't know what my boss would say, would they give me the opportunity to develop, what is there for me to learn more? And I was very struggling with that. But I said, okay, you know what, let me at least talk to my supervisor and ask for guidance. And as soon as I said, hey, I would like to learn some new skills that will help me develop even further. And there was so many things that they were giving me. And of course, it wasn't like, you have to do it right now, but it's like, here's the things that you can look at. And you can develop yourself further in your current role and, look beyond that. And for me, it was someone who loves to learn new things and continue to develop myself. It was, what do you call it? A dream come true, that something I would never run out of things to learn. And, I didn't have to be in a different department or a different group to achieve that. I could be in production, mastering my production knowledge, but also start to learn how other groups interacted with each other. And not only I learned the skills to do my day-to-day production work, but also learn a lot of new skills, like working across boundaries and, more about quality system, like how do they do things, became a qualified trainer, so learn how to effectively deliver trainings and so on. And really, I would love to list everything that I learned so far and the list of things that I want to continue to develop. But one thing that I love working here at GSK is that our management, Kevin, Sean, and Rizwan can definitely also say this too, but we really love people to continue to develop. We don't want you to feel that you don't have anything new to learn. And really, they're all supportive management here. So that's why I'm still here. I don't really see myself going anywhere else with this amazing opportunity to continue developing my skills. And I really would love to see those who are in this event to really apply and see what you can learn and really continue develop yourself with me, right? I would love to work with you guys if you guys really love here. So I know I went on long, but definitely appreciate everybody here. And I would like to introduce you to Susan, our site HR lead.
Thank you so much, KJ, and welcome to the 100 plus folks who've joined us today. We're really excited to have you here with us. It's just a great time to see this much interest in GSK. So I'm going to share just my screen, just one. And I was just sharing you a little bit about my story, because I think my story, while it may be a little unique to have an engineer working in HR, it's not unique, as KJ talked about, to have those opportunities to try different things. And we encourage that. That's an important part of our employees' development, is for them to have those cross-functional assignments. We believe it helps them to grow personally and professionally, but it's also good for our site, because if you're a production person, you get to go work in quality. What do you bring to quality? You bring that production mindset. Or if you're a quality person, you decide you want to go to production, what do you bring to production? That quality mindset. So we really want to encourage that here, because again, it's all about making you better and allowing you to be the best person, but it makes the site so much better. And you will hear, that's one of the things that we feel like we do really good here at GSK, and specifically GSK Rockville. What we found recently is we participated in a corporate review on values and insurance. And one of the significant pieces of feedback we received is how diverse we are. And we always took pride in being one of the most diverse sites in the US, but now we've been told we're one of the most diverse sites in the company. So we're really proud of that history, and we want to continue to build that to be a competitive advantage. And so if you see on the other side, you see we are Rockville, and that's what's so important. We are Rockville, and we are all those different color handprints, all those different color people who show up every day to be themselves. But we find the strength is in all of our differences, and that's what has made us so successful. So excited again to have you here. Excited to hopefully you want to come on our journey of making people's lives better, and really trying to make a difference, not just in our patients' lives, but I always say we want to make our employees' lives better too. So for me, I have two sets of customers I work on: the employees who I see every day, and the patient at the end of the supply chain that I don't see very often, but I'm so happy to be able to make their lives better. So with that said, we're going to open the floor for questions. And KaShauna Gill, that's who she is to me, because I hired her many years ago as that, but she's now KaShauna Rohlehr, will be taking over and managing the Q&A. And she is one of our associate directors here. And she also has a passion for I&D, but also just a passion in this recruiting space. So with that said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and give it to you, KaShauna.
Thank you, Susan. And thank you, everyone. We definitely have an interactive crowd. We have lots of comments in the chat and also in our Q&A. But our first question, Susan, I'm actually going to start with you. There's several inquiries around recruiting internationally and if we hire individuals from other countries outside of the US.
Thank you, KaShauna, and great question. So let me try to answer that question. We, GSK, do hire internationally because we are a company that is a global company, and we're all over the globe. We, GSK Rockville BioPharm, don't typically hire people from outside the country, just because we have a significant amount of people right here in our local area that we hire. There's a significant investment for a company if we were to hire someone outside the US. And so we don't do a lot of those hires when there's maybe a hard to fill job, or a senior level job, we may make an exception, but the bulk of our population comes from the US. And so I think I see another question coming up about sponsoring visas. Again, we don't typically sponsor visas, but at our higher level jobs that we do sponsor visas. So I think if you're looking for a job and you require that, you probably want to connect with me offline. You can connect with me through the LinkedIn profile because I can tell you what jobs we do sponsor for. But like I said, those are usually our more higher level jobs, our more experienced level jobs.
Okay, thank you, Susan. Similarly, along those lines, there's some questions around our graduate level programs and if we have any program that covers tuition. So could you speak to that?
Thank you for that question. And that's another great question. I know several companies have programs where they will provide tuition reimbursement and those type of things. GSK's program is really unique. And so for our current employees who work very closely with their leaders and put into their development plan, we don't just offer tuition reimbursement, we pay for the entire school. So we don't look at the IRS cap that most companies use, which is just under about $6,000 a year. We'll pay for the entire degree with the books, as long as you get certain grades. And then there's a requirement to stay with the company for 3 years. Again, that program is for our current employees, and they work very closely with their leader to make sure it's part of the development plan, which we consider that program to be really a good benefit and a competitive advantage. We don't have a lot of our competitors who are paying for the full degree for folks. So I hope that answers the question, KaShauna.
Yes, thank you, Susan. Okay, just to spice up a little bit, I'm going to actually send this one over to Kevin. So Kevin, there's a question around our hiring cycle and how long applicants should expect until they hear back. So again, since we're recruiting for a lot of our production roles today, if you could just give us a typical of how the hiring process works and typically how long it would take to hear back.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Thanks for asking. I think in the recent, I would say 24 months, our strategy at site in anticipation of a higher demand of product, bringing on the expansion of the 10K facility, we've really increased our hiring in those past 2 years. So the turnaround is maybe much quicker than normal or average. So we're looking specifically at the production positions on a weekly basis at the longest. We're screening through candidates, applicants, scheduling reoccurring weekly and monthly interview panels. So we have a pretty structured cadence because we are trying to increase our headcount for staffing positions across GSK BioPharm, Rockville BioPharm, but specifically production themselves. So to answer your question in short, probably there could be up to maybe a one month lag time at the longest because we have these rolling applicants coming through. But it shouldn't be any more than that. If you have applied or posted for a position and you haven't heard back, feel free to reach out and let me know. There are layers to the screening process before it reaches our hands. So there's other things that can happen that could potentially delay that unrelated to our internal system. So hopefully that answers your question. But we really strive to turn around on the applicants sooner than that 1 month time frame that I mentioned.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Okay, Sean, I'm going to send you a question. So what is the ideal educational background for someone in production? PhD level. Also, there's a question around positions. Are the positions only for people with BA or BS degrees? And could we include some students who would graduate next semester? So basically, what is the educational background for someone working in production?
Good question, KaShauna. So this varies. So experience level in a production spans from high school with experience all the way to master, people with master degrees. So in the bottom line, it boils down to your passion for the job and what you're trying to get yourself into. And so essentially, the quick answer here is it varies depending on the person himself or herself. So we have multiple internal employees that have high school degrees. We have multiple with master degrees and a lot of BS degrees. So highly educated workforce, but breadth of diversity as far as experience.
Okay, so we have another question. I'm going to send this over to maybe Lauren. I can find the exact question, but basically someone was asking about what does the schedule look like for someone in production?
Yes, I was actually just typing a response in the chat for that one. So manufacturing is 24/7 operations. We do have work in the evenings as well as on the weekends, but we break it up. So LSM building, which is large scale, they operate on a 12-hour schedule, and then SSM, small scale manufacturing, operates on a 10-hour schedule. There is a little bit of overlap so that the ongoing team can update the outgoing team, but that's only for manufacturing. Some of our other positions posted, I saw a question about the CI position as well as investigative specialist. Those are more of your traditional Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 hours. So I think the positions that are posted, they vary. It depends on whether it's in manufacturing or whether it's outside of production. But for manufacturing production positions, to be clear, it is a 24-hour operating facility.
Thank you, Lauren. So we have a few questions, I think, in the chat and the Q&A around the opportunity to work hybrid or virtual. So Susan, do you want to maybe take this question around opportunities to work from home, virtual, hybrid?
Of course, thanks, KaShauna. And KaShauna, we have all those options. Now, unfortunately for our core job, our production jobs, making medicine is something that must be done inside these four walls. And so we've gotten creative in the pandemic where some work the production folks were able to do from home, but the bulk of their work is done here on their schedule. Unfortunately, I don't think we figured out yet, Sean and Anthony, how to make medicine from home. So that job is typically a job where you come to work. But some of our jobs the pandemic has really helped us realize some jobs people can do a hybrid where they're in the office some and working from home. And we've also found out there's some people who can work from home mostly. So at our site, we have not asked everyone to return to work yet. We actually don't have a timeline for that. We've said that based on what we've learned, employees should continue to partner with their manager. And if they need to be on site for a certain amount of days to make sure that is works for them and works for the business. So for us, as a company, we've also done something called Performance with Choice, and we're still working through how is that, excuse me, going to show up for here. But we have all those options at site. And as I said before, I think that's one of the good things that have come out of the pandemic is we've learned how to work different ways and get our work done. All the four walls don't necessarily have to be these four walls that you see. It could be, as you can see, there's several of our leaders right now working from home. So thanks, KaShauna.
Thank you, Susan. Okay, let's see. There's so many questions. Thank you all for being so engaged and interacting with us today. So I'm going to pass this one to Kevin. So there's a couple of questions around what is and I think we touched on this a little bit, but what is the ideal skill set that we're looking for? And are we looking to hire like this week? Some people are saying, can we get a job this week? So basically, what are some skill sets that we're looking for? What's the ideal candidate? What are things that they can put on their resume to stand out? Any tips on that? And, will we hire, how fast will we hire? How fast are we looking to hire?
Yeah, all very good questions, and I could probably talk all day about this. So someone's got to keep me in check here. But no, I think so. From a skill set or capability standpoint, we if you have seen the list of open positions specifically in production, they really range from entry level all the way up through production management. So certainly it would depend on the role or the level. So I'll kind of bucket them. So for the associate positions, certainly the more junior level positions, skill sets that we're looking for that you may not have acquired yet because you don't have the professional experience are really around that, either safety or quality mindset, maybe not applied directly to, this line of work that we're talking about today, because you probably haven't had that opportunity yet. But certainly, hate to be vague, but attention to detail, documentation or recording, data entry type of things. We mentioned, following standard operating procedures or protocols. So being able to follow instructions, some tactical aptitude. So we talked about the mechanical hands-on nature of the equipment, the process equipment that we use. So if you have some sort of, a mechanical type related or indirectly related skill set, those are all things that translate very easily into this type of job if you haven't had something like that before. There's other things too. I just don't have all the time to get into it. As you move up that ladder in terms of levels, really approaching that senior level and that lead level in the associate range, then we're really starting to look for more of that biotech technical and quality experience. That's something that you have seen, you're aware of, the expectations, you have some knowledge, because as you approach those levels, then you start to become more relied upon, not only by your management, but by your peers, to answer the day-to-day troubleshooting questions, the how to use the equipment, how to fix the equipment, or at least point us in the right direction. So as you approach there, that's when we need something maybe a little more close to the science laboratory or other manufacturing type roles. Obviously, as you transition from lead into supervision and management, you want some awareness of the industry. The more direct, the better, of course, but certainly people leadership, people motivation, delivering strategy, being able to translate goals and objectives and drive performance within your team, starts to get into those softer people leadership skills from there. So again, I know that's probably just scratching the surface, but hopefully that answers or gives you an idea. Again, you're always feel free to reach out afterwards if you want some more specific information, or for a specific role, I'd be glad to dig in a little bit deeper. In terms of hiring, yeah, we're looking for talent now. We want people. I will say, full disclaimer, it takes a little bit of time. We do have a formal interview process. You have to apply for the position or one of the open requisitions. We have to do a formal interview process, and then there is a background process that follows on the back end of that if you are selected and verbally accept an offer. So it typically takes about 40 to 45 days from start to finish, from when you post to when you're walking in the door. That's your fastest period, and most of that is that background period. It's about 21 days that it takes to run that process. So it may be a little longer than you were hoping for, but I would say we're looking for people now. We want people now. That's why we're holding this event. We hope that you're interested. Apply, send us a message, let us know that you're posted or you're interested, and we can start that process.
And Kevin, can I jump in a little bit here and maybe a couple other folks that could answer from a hiring perspective? What can a candidate do to help them stand out in your interview process?
Might get different answers from each person. So I will answer just kind of what I look for. All those skills and those capabilities that we talked, they're great, right? And hopefully this doesn't come off the wrong way, but we trust our procedures and our training, our qualifications, our leaders, our people to teach you what to do. What we really look for, what I look for, is that passion, is that genuine passion, that energy, that desire to want to be part of this type of environment, this type of culture, this type of team to help patients. We can guide you, we can coach you, we can point you in the right direction for motivation, and for energy and positivity, and just that desire to be part of something bigger than you. We can't force that on you, though. You have to have that inside. So for me personally, I want to feel the sincerity, the genuine excitement, the energy, and the motivation to want to be part of what we do here to help patients. So it's not a crystal ball for many folks, but hopefully that lets you know at least my perspective. Feel free. Anyone else on the panel would like to share what they're looking for as well?
I think, Kevin, you really figured out really good, actually. And I'm on the soft part, actually, I'm also saying exactly the same thing. When I'm interviewee, as an interviewer, I'm just sitting in the panel, whatever I'm trying to find out. Procedures can teach you everything. SOPs, learning programs are amazing at GSK, but we need to find out a person who can make things happen, who is having a passion to drive performance. In the tough time, that person should be having a resilience, right? This is something which I'm actually looking for, and you really covered it, actually, Kevin. So thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we have some questions in the chat and Q&A around the investigative specialist role. So would anyone like to explain that role? I don't know who passed that along to. I mean, I was actually a specialist for 4 years, but I need to man the QA in chat. So if anyone would like to explain what this investigative specialist role does, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, I can jump in and start, KaShauna, and then again, any of my colleagues feel free to jump in. But the investigative specialist role, same thing with the junior investigative specialist role. These are roles that are embedded within the production organization now, but really function in concert with our quality department. So in the event that there's a deviation to our process, or a potential deviation, unforeseen event in our defined processes, we have an obligation to record, document, and investigate what that event was, and work our best, use our processes to problem solve, determine root cause, and ideally find a corrective and preventative action to avoid that from happening in the future. All tying back to first time execution, zero defects, etc. So these investigative specialist roles that you see posted here are roles that will be responsible for receiving in the reports or the escalations of an event or potential event, starting the investigative process of writing up the problem-solving methodologies of who, when, what, where, why, how, and then facilitate with whoever was involved or other subject matter experts an investigation on the detailed, granular level. What happened? What were some of the contributing factors? What were those root causes? So they will administratively handle those meetings, that investigation process, the reporting, uploading and writing, and the rollout of any corrective or preventive actions that come out of it. So that's very, very high level of what the responsibility of those specialists would do, but they'll basically be managing deviation, CAPA, preventative action, corrective preventative action activities at site in our quality systems. Hopefully that was a decent enough explanation.
Yes, Kevin, I think that was great. Thank you for sharing that. One little tidbit, I have seen some questions in the chat and the Q&A around positions and quality. So we do have quite a few positions open right now in our quality organization, primarily in quality control. So a biochemist, a microbiologist. So we do have quite a few of those positions open that you can see on the website. We do have a continuous improvement or GPS coach position that is open. We have a few automation and engineering positions. I did see someone ask about project management. That is actually my team. I don't currently have any openings, but we do hire on a rolling basis. So I do encourage everyone to continue to look at our website because, new positions come open every day as people get promoted or move to other opportunities. So that sort of leads me to my next question for Susan. There was a question around promotion. How do we do promotions and how often do we do promotions at GSK?
Thank you, KaShauna. And promotions. So yes, the short answer is yes, we do promotions. We standardized our process a few years ago before I returned to site, and we do promotions 3 times a year. And you would work with your line manager on, what are the expectations for you to be promoted, and then that manager will work with their leader to write up what I call a promotion justification, and then it is approved by your SLT member, and then it's presented to me as the HR leader, and I work with the site director to approve all of those promotions. So, like I said, we've tried to standardize our process, and we do promotions 3 times a year, and we get through a pretty healthy amount of promotions in a calendar year. So I wouldn't say everyone's getting promoted, but a significant part of our population does receive promotions, or we call also progressions, frequently. Does that answer, KaShauna?
Yes, I think that was a great answer, Susan. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I add one thing? Just want to say, it kind of goes back. This really is a people development culture in GSK. So we are as leaders, being challenged ourselves and challenging our team to stretch, those comfort levels, to add skills, to add capabilities, to get outside of your comfort zone, to do more things. So we are excited. We're looking for opportunities to build that in each of the employees. And if you perform and you step up, we're looking for opportunities. Now you have to earn it, right? It's performance based, So I will say GSK does a great job providing you the tools, the platform, to do what you need to do to get there. I think Sean and Anthony and others that I've worked with over the years have said it best. It's really out there for the taking. You just need to go take it, right? And that's kind of what I wanted to add on to that.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. There's also been quite a few questions around our internship and co-op opportunities. We do offer those at GSK. Internships are typically 12 weeks and are 3 months during May to August timeframe. But our co-ops are on a rolling basis. We bring in new co-ops every quarter or semester. So I encourage you to look at our GSK website for those opportunities. Also, I saw some comments around people looking at our websites for jobs that we're talking about. They're not able to see them. So one tidbit, when you search for opportunities for the Rockville site, make sure that you type in the location of Rockville, Maryland, because GSK is in many, many countries and many states within the U.S. And so a lot of the jobs that we're talking about today, you could easily find if you type in Rockville, Maryland in your search. Let me see if there's any other questions. I know we have 4 minutes left. I think that's about it that we could probably get in right now. I don't know, Jake or Adam, is there anything you wanted to share in closing?
Yeah, well, before we stop, I really, one question, and because I heard Sean and Rizwan both say that they'd had such a significant amount of time with GSK. Why do you guys stay there? What keeps you at GSK?
I think for me right here, it's our culture. It's the same word that Rizwan keeps repeating. It's family, it's friendship, it's the bond that we forge here. And it's the fun we have. We work hard, but we have fun together as a team.
I don't have anything to add here, Sean. You are completely, like, whatever I'm thinking, you just said exactly the same thing. Thank you, Sean. Yeah.
That's awesome. KaShauna, well, did we want to go ahead and close it out now then?
Yes, Jake,
Awesome.
I think that would be great.
Fantastic. Well, let me just thank every one of the panelists here today. And all the attendees. I mean, we really had some phenomenal questions this time. I hope that you got a significant amount of information from this session with us. Just to be aware, you will have access to a recording of this event, just so you can go back, review it if you'd like. But other than that, I really want to thank you all for taking the time to be here today. I know the GSK team really appreciates it, and we at BioBuzz really do too. So please, engage with those job openings if you feel like GSK is the right place for you.